And then back to the beginning, I just wrap everything up and I show the connections in a very simplistic way on how this works. I just go over the various things. But yeah, so it's, what is the mystery religion? It is the original lie. It is the scattering of the original religion. It is the faiths that are not the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it will become the worship of the beast. The biblical timeline only leaves one answer for what is Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. The birth of the first one world government, the birth of the first one world language, the birth of the first one world economy, the birth of the first one world religion was in Babylon. That's where everything began. The world's first religion, economy, government, language was all in Babylon. Everything that we see described that is trying to be done in Revelation matches identically to that. That's the idea of prophetic patterns. Satan's trying to get it back to there. It was all birthed in Babylon. And where does it say that it's all going to end? Babylon. It doesn't say the Vatican. It doesn't say America. Babylon's going to fall exactly as it fell, or as God scattered at the very beginning. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. And so I've got this that I put in there, which I think is very important, that breaks it down in a very simple way. The timeline of the mystery religion, it's not as complicated as people think it is. It's complex when you dive into the details of it, but it's not complicated if you just want to see how it starts. And so it started at the Garden of Eden with the lie, the original lie that Satan told Eve. That's where it began. That's where the first instance of it started. That's where the idea began. You will be like God, the worship of self and becoming gods. That's the foundation for every religion in the world, all of them. And then that traveled to the Tower of Babel. That's where we see the creation of the original pagan religion. That's where we see the foundation of the one world everything. And that's where we see the unholy pagan religion come through, or pagan trinity come through. That was the foundation for the divine mother and child, the first iteration of the Antichrist and Nimrod, and so on and so forth. And when God scattered them from, because they were one language and they were trying to worship themselves and become gods and even physically, literally reach the heavens through the tower. That's something that a lot of people don't believe in. I believe that they were actually trying to reach the heavens. When God scattered the language, all those people went across the earth, taking that religion with them, starting their own religions. And so thousands of religions, philosophies, spiritualities formed from that singular pagan religion, which that is the mystery religion. And then at the end, at the 3.5-year mark of Daniel's 70th week, at the abomination of desolation, when Satan comes to sit in the temple and declare himself to be God, all those religions are coming together through the false prophet, and then they're going to get cut off, and he's going to declare himself to be God. And so the one world religion comes into play with him being worshipped. So that's how that works, because we even read that in Revelation 17. Eventually the harlot's going to get destroyed, and then it's going to be the one world religion at that point. So just wanted to put that forward as well. So there's a lot of stuff in here. It's not super long. It's only about 157 pages total with everything in there. But I think we cover a lot of stuff that might answer some questions. Will hopefully make everything make sense. Because again, there's a lot of people that have never heard this term before. Mystery religion, but it's such a key part of what we're seeing today. It is literally the driving force to everything that we're seeing done today. The various policy stuff that we have going on, the technology growth that we see happening, the ecumenical movements, what's happening in the modern church. I don't have an entire chapter dedicated to the modern church. I go over all this stuff too, because I know a lot of people have questions regarding everything there. That's all part of the alchemy side of things. But I know there's a lot of people that they don't really understand why everything is coming together. And so hopefully this can answer that question. The spiritual elements are driving everything together, even if it doesn't seem like it. It absolutely is. Absolutely is moving things together. So, but yeah. So, like I said, this is free. I'm not charging anybody for this. It'll be available to download after the podcast, and then you guys can check it out if you so do so. Hopefully this will answer some questions. Again, I still get a lot of people asking questions about things that I've covered in like the End Times New Age series and stuff. They just won't watch it. For whatever reason it is. I don't know. They just won't watch it. So hopefully this is a quick guide that will be able to answer questions in regards to that. So again, hopefully this will help. If you got pastors that aren't up to date on what's going on with this, it's kind of like pulling teeth to get pastors to read some stuff sometimes, I'll tell you what, but maybe send it their way. Say it might answer some questions, might help them. It's going to be tricky for them though, because like I said, I challenge a lot of traditional church teachings in there. And the reason why I do that is because some of the traditional church teachings just don't make sense when you read scripture. They just don't. And so I point those out. I show how, well, this is what scripture literally says. Maybe we should go with that as opposed to just coming up with a theory and basing it off of that, even though it doesn't fit. But yeah, hopefully that'll help with that in regards to that. So, but yeah, that's all. That's all I got in regards to that. So.